Radio app. Talking Golf on the Golf Effect Network is on the air. Talking Golf is brought to you by American Transmission Company, ATC, helping you keep the lights on, businesses running, and communities strong. American Family Insurance, insure carefully and dream fearlessly. Oak Park Place, offering senior living options for the lifestyle you deserve, with amenities and services for a carefree, independent way of life. And by the Princeton Club, a premier health club that combines state-of-the-art equipment with a highly trained staff and convenient locations. Now, here are your co-hosts of Talking Golf, Dennis Tiziani and Paul Brown.
And welcome to another round of Talking Golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network. Along with Dennis Tiziani, I'm Paul Brown from Cherokee Country Club in Madison. On our show tonight, Barry Alvarez is going to be joining us in a couple of minutes. We'll get the perspective from Barry as to his reaction to the American Family Insurance Championship. Also on the show tonight is going to be Scott Neiser. Scott was the caddy for David Toms, who won the U.S. Senior Open Golf Tournament over the weekend in Colorado Springs. And we're going to check in with Pat Stein, who's the general manager up at Wild Rock. And Tiz, fishing for 3 or 4 days, you guys. Catch any big walleyes up there?
Yeah,
in the
we
North
did.
Country?
I did. I caught 5 in a row yesterday. And Steve caught a couple of nice 35 and a 37-inch muskie. So we had a good time on the boat until it rained and the wind blew too hard. But it was a lot of fun.
Sometimes I have a tough time imagining you relaxing, sitting in a boat and fishing.
Well, we were talking about a number of things as we do. There's nobody around, you can't hear, and so I can't give up any secrets. But he didn't have any concerns as far as his golf was going. But I could tell that 8 out of 10 weeks or so that he played, kind of got to him a little bit, and he didn't really care to play, nor did anybody. Then all of a sudden, then he wants to play. So last 2 days, we did some work.
And we'll talk a little bit about that work a little later. There's a new Titleist driver involved in this conversation, and Tiz will get to that a little bit later. But we're going to take a break and come back with Barry Alvarez after this timeout on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
The American Family Championship features golf's living legends competing right here in Wisconsin. Take advantage of the Wild Rock American Family Championship package, which includes 18 holes with GPS cart at Wild Rock, with lunch and a Wild Rock hat. Plus,
I just jumped
to the
in.
championship in Madison this June. Call or check out our website for availability. 608.
You don't want me to wait till it's a little bit closer?
4653 or wildrockgolf.com. That's wildrockgolf.com.
He dreams of playing in the big leagues, which is taking a toll on your dreams. Most people don't think about their home insurance until something happens. But talking to an American Family Insurance agent today can mean your dreams have better protection tomorrow. Visit amfam.com/home for a quote and see if your insurance measures up. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly.
American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin, 53783.
At Oak Park Place, they understand there are some loves that last a lifetime, like the love of the game, and they celebrate those things that make you uniquely you. Their community of friends, family, and caring staff provide support if you need it, while you enjoy your independence when you want it. Because they know that sharing memories of time well spent is just that. Time well spent. Learn more about senior living at an Oak Park Place near you. Visit oakparkplace.com.
We're not your electric company, but we help move power to your community. We don't generate electricity, but our grid helps to energize your everyday life. We provide stable, reliable energy transmission from the energy sources to your home or business. We are American Transmission Company, the vital link between power production and the people who count on it. American Transmission Company, helping to keep the lights on, businesses running, and communities strong.
The critics are raving. It's the hottest reservation in the city, and people wait months for a table. And now, it's finally time
about
to
a
take
minute
your
20
seat behind the wheel of the 2018 E-Class at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. This is performance at its most tasteful. Refined power and Mercedes-Benz luxury with enough turbocharged torque to get you back in time for dessert. Visit MBUSA.com/E-Class to learn more. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
Looking for future leaders we can believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Wisconsin. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It includes learning to listen, accepting responsibility, being a good role model, and it's about respect. The result, it transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. This message presented by the Wisconsin Interscholastic Athletic Association and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
It's the kid in grade school who paints their face blue and white before every home game.
It's the accountants and salesmen who give up their Friday evenings to referee.
It's the cashier at the corner convenience store who wears school colors on every game day.
What makes high school sports here in Wisconsin so special? They do. You do.
We all do.
This message is presented by the Wisconsin Interscholastic Athletic Association and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
W265 CB Madison.
Golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network from Cherokee Country Club in Madison, along with Dennis Tiziati. I'm Paul Brown, and we're going to welcome in Barry Alvarez, who, by the way, is one of the athletic directors of the year announced by Under Armour. And it's no surprise that Barry wins awards like that. Tiz, I looked it up just out of curiosity, and for everybody listening, just listen to this. Here's a short summary. Under Barry, Alvarez took the Badgers to 13 bowl games. They won 2 in a row in the Rose Bowl in 99 and 2000. Barry's teams won 119 football games from 1990 through 2005. Get this, John Cota, John Jardine, Dave McClain, Jim Hillis, Don Morton's teams from 1966 through 1989 won a combined total of 95 games. From Paulus through Soderberg, from 69 through 2001, they won a combined total of 438 games. They made one appearance in the NCAA tournament. Over 15 years, Bull won 364 games and made 15 appearances in the NCAA. And then, of course, there was just the renovation of Camp Randall Stadium, the Kohl Center, LeBond Arena. And here's another one that I like. Back in 93, the radio and television rights for the university were $137,000 combined for everything. Now they've got a contract with Learfield through 2019 for, I think it's about $75 million. And of course, there's the Fox deal on TV. So other than that, Tiz, I'm not sure what Barry's done, but can you imagine all of that happening under his watch?
I can. You know, he was a good coach. He is a good coach. He was a good coach. He is a good coach. But he brings a little bit more to the table than just coaching. He's got a tremendous insight and appreciation for other people's feelings. When you sit and chat with him, which I have a number of times, I consider him a friend, that he expresses that all the time. Sometimes, he doesn't give himself as much credit as he should, even though sometimes people will say the arrogance exists, but, so be it. It's well-deserved. But, I can remember way back when we were like $3 million in the hole in the athletic department. And just not too long ago, and I mentioned this to him, that the university education system borrowed $30 million from the athletic department. Of course, he told me they took it. But, the point is that, it's just unimaginable what has happened with Wisconsin athletics since he's been there. And to a person, and I've chatted with a number of, coaches and people that work there, that he does have that same appreciation for other people's feelings. He really does. And I sense it. I get it. Kudos to him. It's unbelievable to be the athletic director of the year. Can you imagine?
Barry, congratulations. Welcome to our show. And I've heard you myself on several occasions. The key to success, part of it that you've had, you hire the right people, you put them in the right position, you give them the authority and let them go to work. Does that kind of summarize it in a way?
Well, that's been my secret. I've been able to get good people to come and and work with me and for the university. And I think, as an assistant coach, when I was an assistant, I always remembered, just tell me what you want, give me the parameters and let me go. And if I don't do it, then we'll move on. But I try to do that with my people, is give them direction, tell them exactly what I want, give them some leeway, and be there for any assistance whenever necessary. But that allows them to grow also. But we've got a great product here. I took this job and I said it was a sleeping giant, and I believe that. I think we've proved that. We've probably been the most consistent school maybe in the country in football and basketball over the last 20, 25 years. And from a place where, you mentioned it beforehand, coming from being in $3 million in debt.
Right.
And when I came here, the basketball team hadn't been to the tournament since the 40s. The football team had been to 5 bowl games in the history of the school, to having records now with how many consistent appearances we've had in both. It's pretty impressive, and I'm very proud of that.
Barry, as you look ahead in your crystal ball and look down the road, say 7 to 10 years, what's one of the biggest challenges and issues that you think college athletics is going to face?
I worry about college athletics in the future right now because all of the lawsuits. We have lawsuits about amateurism, about paying for likeness of student athletes, et cetera. If we started paying, we turn into pro athletics, and college athletics as we know it today could be out the window, and you'd have to make a decision. You want to be a pro sports? Does your university want to support a pro sport team, or do you want to be an Ivy League team? And I see that if we continue, if these lawsuits don't go quite the right way, that's what we're looking at.
That's really scary, Dennis. From your perspective, you coached in the Big Ten, you coached at Wisconsin. When you hear Barry talk about things like that, what do you think?
Well, it scares me also, what I hear, and I listen to some of the stuff that's going on, how some parents are taking their kids and prostituting them in such a fashion and selling them off. It bothers me a little bit about how the media does this. It bothers me that a player can get $154 million for playing basketball. He gets it. I get it. But I mean, that's just beyond the scope of anything. And I'm with Barry, both of us are, now that we've turned 55, on
a good day.
On a good day. That's right.
We can say what we think.
I know, and I have to be a little bit careful on this thing, what I really, really think. But I'm with you on that. I worry about it. I know what it was to coach and be involved and be behind every kid. And Barry hit it right on the head. You give them responsibility, you give them authority, responsibility, but corresponding authority. And I did that even on the coaching realm, where this is what we expect, and then turn them loose and see if they get there. And you know what? They did. And so I was really sincere when I said, that what he's done here, is because you have to go right to the top. What he's done as an athletic director. And, there was another thing too, not to take up all the time, but I can remember his coaches, Barry's coaches, when he coached him, they would spend the time to meet with the instructors of his athletes to make sure, A, they're going to school, and 2, that they're on the right track. But the coaches not just stood there and watched them lift weights or whatever, but they made an effort to go ahead to deal with the instructors as they were going through school. So school was very important. That was impressive, as impressive as winning games.
Barry, from the perspective of the student athlete over the years, how do you see the change in the student athlete today, if at all?
Well, I'm asked that question all the time. how would I change my coaching? I would not change how I coach.
Mm-mm.
I was always straightforward with my student athletes when I recruited them, and once they got here, about how I was going to coach them, how demanding I was going to be, what I was going to ask of them, and I was always fair. But my door was always open. I see more helicopter parents now. I see parents trying to do the talking for the student athletes. I've had more calls since I've been athletic director for 15 years than I did for maybe 30 years as a coach. I just think this is a me and I society, and it's a little different, but how I would coach would be the same. I think Paul and his guys, that's the closest group I'm with. I think they're demanding of their players, but they're open with their players. They're communicative with their players. I've got to deal with 23 head coaches, and I see a lot of different things in student athletes. I see some spoiled that are come in. I see some that are dependent on parents and that type thing. But all in all, I couldn't be more proud, though, of the student athletes that we put on the field for the university.
That's right.
And how they represent us. You put a microphone in front of them, they speak in full sentences, complete sentences. They're articulate, and they understand, and they're proud of wearing that Motion W.
We're going to move a little bit now from Barry Alvarez as athletic director on to the American Family Insurance Championship, which is obviously also a big part of the university. Barry, your overall reaction to the 3 tournaments so far, and has it even gone beyond what you thought the expectations might be at this point?
I think it's probably gone beyond mine, Jack Salsweedle,
That's right,
and everyone else involved.
That's right.
I mean, how could you even picture it? I think the first year we hoped it would go well. It went great. The next year was even better, and I think this year was even better than that. And as we at the Ridge and at the university and in American Family, every year we get a little better, and we do things a little better, and we continue to try to increase or improve the course and improve the facilities for the pros coming in, and so it's good for both ways. It's good for our fans here. It's good for the golf fans. I think the pros enjoy playing here, and it helps. It's going to continue to improve our golf course and give it exposure.
And I want to talk about that exposure in a minute, but quickly on the renovations, there's a big one coming up with the improvement of the sand traps, right?
Right. We're going to redo all the sand traps. We have Rock Roads are going to do some improvement of the cart paths here in October. So we'll continue to improve the course, but the traps are next.
And in terms of exposure, what's it done for the golf course and the rounds of golf? And in general, the overall exposure for the university having it on TV?
As I talk to our pros and our people out there, we get a lot of traffic from those who've seen it on TV. And it really shows well, by the way. And I think you'd agree with me on that.
Oh, yeah.
Watching all the other ones on TV, it shows very well. And people want to play on the course. They want to have that same experience that the guys from the Champions Tour play. And I'm really proud of it. I had the chance Saturday before it started. I went out and I had 3 visitors. And Mike let me go out, and I said, "Come on." So we were the only ones on the course. I don't do that very often because I try not to tear the course up, as you know. But
all right. You didn't hurt the greens
to
at
have
all.
these 3 friends from out of town to experience that. I mean, they were so complimentary of the course and how the front and back 9 are totally different, and just the quality of the course made me feel really good.
Overall, from a recruiting aspect, that's got to help not only from the golf exposure, but exposure in general to the university, doesn't it?
Well, anytime there's positive in national media about the university, it's good.
Mm-hmm.
And the first year I'm trying to think. Nick Faldo, I think, is the one that said, "Who wouldn't want to come to school here?"
Yeah.
With the facilities that we have in this course, et cetera, et cetera. And I went to the golf coach and I said, if you don't use this in recruiting, there's something wrong with you. But yeah, absolutely. It's been very positive in our recruiting, and not only for golf, but all sports. I mean, that's a lot of exposure. That's 3 days on national TV. It's an infomercial for us.
Tiz, anything else?
No, it does show well. He hit it right on the head. It does show well, but it plays very well. I've had the opportunity to play there in the Pro-Am, Davis Love and the like, and they loved it. And they all said they come back. That's what I garner from there. They want to come back. Yeah, Steve plays an important part to university. But, he mentioned about Jack, when you have two people that have that same feeling like Barry does and Jack does, Jack Salzwedel.
That's a pretty winning combination.
My point is they're leaders and they're leading the pack. So when you're sitting down at the table and not necessarily negotiating isn't the word, but certainly agreeing on the direction you want to go in to benefit both the university and American Family. Keep in mind there's two businesses, right? You got two people here that have a common goal, a common vision, and a good vision. And, as long as that continues, like I said, I hope he stays around for a little while longer. He's.
Or are you asking him if he's?
No, but I know he's 55 already. And I want him to stay. Obviously, I see him and I enjoy the big hugs and the like that I get to, and emotionally and all that. So I'm just happy he's here.
You and I were the two Buckies.
I know
you
it.
And I are standing out in front of you.
I know they asked us about that. Are you guys going to be the two Buckies?
Yeah.
And Barry and I said, well, we got those same kind of shirts, the ones with the bellies in them, those shirts, and they work out pretty good.
I'm not going to touch that one with a 10-foot pole, but I am going to say, Barry, thank you very much for being on Talking Golf, and congratulations on being selected Athletics Director of the Year, and all the best to you in the future at the UW.
He dreams of playing in the big leagues, which is taking a toll on your dreams. Most people don't think about home insurance until something happens.
All right, so
Talking to
Scott,
an
next.
American Family Insurance agent today can mean your dreams have better protection tomorrow. Visit amfam.com/home for a quote and see if your insurance measures up. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly.
American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin, 53783.
Hi,
Okay, we're going to get back at about
open house time at the Princeton Clubs. Come
26:30-ish,
see
just
what
as a
our
heads
clubs
up.
are all about. Try a class or just relax in our pools. Visit any of our clubs
sounds
for
good.
free during our open house going on now. With more locations, more amenities, and more free classes, there's never been a better time to be a member of the Princeton Clubs. I think you'll be surprised how much better you'll feel just after a few visits. Plus, with our express locations all over the Madison area, you'll never be more than a few minutes away from your next workout. As a member, you'll also have access to Cherokee Country Club's outdoor pool to make the most out of your summer. So come try the Princeton Clubs today. Get inspired and start feeling great again. We keep our clubs spotlessly clean, open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and with free childcare and no joining fees. And if you're ready to step up to the Princeton Clubs, we'll even buy out your current membership somewhere else. The Princeton Clubs, voted Madison's best health club year after year. Visit PrincetonClub.net for more details.
At Oak Park Place, they understand there are some loves that last a lifetime, like the love of the game, and they celebrate those things that make you uniquely you. Their community, friends, family, and caring staff provide support if you need it, while you enjoy your independence when you want it. Because they know that sharing memories of time well spent is just that, time well spent. Learn more about senior living at an Oak Park Place near you. Visit oakparkplace.com.
The University of Wisconsin Golf Course, University Ridge, has been voted Best of Madison and is the proud host site of the PGA Tour Champions American Family Championship. Our course, designed by the world-renowned Robert Trent Jones Jr., is yours to play without a costly membership. The award-winning golf shop at University Ridge offers high-end Badger apparel you won't find anywhere else. And when you're off the course, enjoy excellent food and drink with friends at the W Grill. Play where the Badgers play, University Ridge.
Right now, Cherokee Country Club is offering outstanding introductory golf memberships. You can join Cherokee as an individual member for $2,400. Depending on your age, you can get a family membership that starts at only $2,900. Check it out for yourself. What you're going to find is the best deal in Madison when it comes to joining a golf club. And by the way, your membership also allows you to use all of the facilities at the Princeton Club and the Madison Club. If you're a business owner, Cherokee offers a voucher golf program that allows you to purchase 20 rounds of golf, good for 18 holes with a golf cart, for only $1,000. What a great way to entertain your clients, customers, or employees. Cherokee also offers memberships for swimming and indoor and outdoor tennis. And the public is welcome to use the driving range, restaurant, banquet facilities, or book a wedding.
10 seconds, stand by.
For more information, call 249-1000 or visit the website at CherokeeCountryClub.net. We're back on Talking Golf and the Golf Effect Radio Network from Cherokee Country Club in Madison, along with Dennis Tiziati. I'm Paul Brown. Scott Neiser is going to be joining us in a couple of minutes. Scott was on the bag for David Toms when he won the U.S. Senior Open in Colorado Springs over the weekend. And Scott actually wound up in the hospital for a couple of days, had some health issues they had to deal with. But he got back and was on the bag when David Toms won that tournament at Colorado Springs and the Broadmoor. And that's quite a place. I was there a number of times. Tiz at the old Broadmoor World Arena when the Badger hockey team used to play there. But while we get a hold of Scott, you mentioned Steve. You've been with him the last 3 days, relaxing a little bit, going fishing and doing some other things recreationally. But you talked about a new driver that he's kind of excited about. Tell us about that.
Titleist has come out with a new driver. It'll be out in July. I know some of the pros have it now, and it's the head on his shaft, but it has that same spring effect that you'll get in some of the long drivers that you hear about today, Callaway, TaylorMade, and it really works. I mean, it's anywhere between 10 and 20 yards further that he's hitting the ball.
What makes it go further?
Well, it's the face. It's not coefficient of expansion, but it's a springboard effect. The twist was a good item, but the Titleist really with the driver has never really got into that. It's okay, but it never was because I play that driver and it was kind of a dead. If I hit some of these other ones, they were liver. There's no doubt. Well, this one is liver. Believe me, it goes, like I said, 10 to 20 yards further. So that means somebody that's hitting it 290 is going to be 310.
That's about where Steve is, isn't he?
Yeah.
Around 290?
Yeah. Well, it is because a lot of times he backs off the driver and he'll hit. He's a 3-wood, 290. So, I mean, sometimes he gets it in the fairway and plays there. But we were both impressed. I was watching it from the side and watching how this thing was boring. He likes it. It's a little bit flat. He doesn't like the ball way up in the air. It's a little bit flatter. This worked out pretty good. We adjusted some of the weight on it, though. That really it was tending to turn over just a little bit. Adjusted some of the weight, and today was really good. We played this morning, and of course,
you said you had 8 pars and 1 bogey. Huh?
Yeah, 8 pars and 1 bogey. I'm getting better. He even said, "Boy, you really played good." Of course, I played from the green tees. He played from the black, so there's a little difference, 400, 500, 600 yards. But even still, But, there's a case there. I thought I was driving it halfway decent, 240 yards, right? Well, he's behind me 30, 40 yards, and he's ahead of me 50 on the other side.
Got him.
So it goes pretty good. But he's really excited about playing. He's back on the track again. 8 out of 10 weeks was kind of tough.
A little tired.
But he's looking forward to going over to
John Deere.
John
a couple
Deere.
Of weeks.
Yeah, go over to where he gets that check every week over at John Deere,
Well, talking about getting checks, we've got a young man on the line here that I got to ask him about his check. I don't know how you split a check when you have 2 different caddies on a bag, but we'll get to that a little bit later because right now Scott Neiser is with us. Scott was on the bag for David Toms, who won the U.S. Senior Open. And first of all, Scott, you missed a couple of days because you weren't feeling too well. Hopefully you're okay. And what happened there, if you don't mind telling us?
Well, thank you. I'm doing all right. Just went to the doctor when I got home today from Denver. And I really don't know what happened. I just started having sharp chest pains the morning of the first day of the tournament. And, you know, you're up there at thin air and you're not feeling good. And the course is really hilly. And it was really every time I took a deep breath, it was just sharp pains in my chest. So I was like, called David's wife and told her, I said, hey, is Carter available to go? Which is their 20-year-old boy who plays golf at LSU. So I told him, I said, hey, might want to have him ready. So I told him, he goes, yeah, you better not go, just because you never know. I just don't want to cause a commotion, go down on the fairway right in the middle of the round. And so I went to the hospital that day for all the way through the middle of the night. And they didn't really find anything. A little bit of high blood pressure, but I think that was more from the anxiety, I think, of the whole deal. And got cleared, and I didn't go Friday because he had a 7:15 tee time, and I got home about 2:30. So I let him go again for 2 days, and I was back on the bag for Saturday and Sunday.
How do you split that purse that the caddies get, Scott, when you got two guys? That's kind of an unusual thing.
Yeah, and when you're out there doing this and trying to win a golf tournament, but the money's pretty much the last thing in your head. Just really, I think winning the tournament is so exciting. And I've won 12 of David's 13 wins on the regular tour. And, you know, the money's a good thing later on down the road when you get the check. But when you're in the hunt and everything, you're not thinking anything about it. You just want him to hoist that trophy at the end of the week.
Which he did. And Scott, you were here in Madison a week ago when David played in the American Family Insurance Championship. Then you go out to Colorado Springs. Now, I don't know, had you ever seen that golf course before, you guys? Have you ever played there?
No, we haven't seen the Broadmoor, which is in Colorado Springs. We've been out to Denver many times for the international tournament. And we're, as a matter of fact, I won my first tournament with David Toms back in 1999. The international, it was called. It's a Stableford system where you get points for birdies and eagles, lose points for bogeys and stuff. So that was my first one with David out there. But plus being in Madison, it was nice enough. I stayed at Tony Granado's house, and he put me up for the week, which was really nice. Got to go over and see the hockey team practice a little bit and see the facilities, which are second to none, which is neat. And I have a 13-year-old that's all he wants to do is come play hockey in Madison. So he's all fired up for it, but he's still got a ways to go. So we'll never know.
You never know where Tony Granado's name's going to come up, not only in the hockey world, everywhere else. Quality guy and obviously a good friend of yours. Scott, for all of us that are interested in the game of golf, take us through the preparations when you're seeing the Broadmoor golf course for the first time next to Pikes Peak. How do you prepare to give the information you need to David Toms for that tournament? And especially with that type of course, kind of give us a summary of how you set everything up and what you went through preceding the start of the event.
Okay, well, I got there on Sunday night and went and walked the golf course by myself Monday. And you get the lay of the land and kind of find the lines where, he's got to hit the ball, because there's a few par fours out there where you got to kind of cut the corner, go over down the left or down the right. But walking the golf course without a player hitting shots, especially in Colorado Springs at altitude, when we get our yardage, we get it all mapped out, regular yardage, but then we got to take off 10% because of the thin air. And also it's on the side of a hill. So now we're working on, like, let's say it's 8 yards downhill. And so we got to, it's like a big math quiz out there during the tournament. So both Dave and I were working on that math part of it during the week, just so, all of a sudden you get a number going the wrong way or you go the opposite way. Like David, a couple times, he gave me the yardage like after I got it, and I go, whoa, wait a minute. He goes, oh, I forgot. I was adding and forgot to subtract, or I forgot to take 10% off. So it's good to make sure before you hit the shot. You hear horror stories out there with guys all of a sudden. You see the people over the like behind the green. All of a sudden you see them turn around as the ball flies over their head. It's one of those things that you got to remember to take that 10%. and the lay of the land, either uphill or downhill. So it's the preparation is very important for that, especially for that golf course. And also with the greens, those greens are probably some of the craziest greens you ever want to see. They're, ups and downs, and some are so slow when you're putting back into the mountain. Other ones you're barely touching the ball. Like our putt on 18 was about 15 feet downhill, and he just barely tapped it and it went by about a nervous 3 feet. Which, with the greens a little chopped up, it would be in the last group. That 3-footer was no bargain. I think he snuck it into the left center of the hole for the victory. I thought I was having heart problems earlier in the week. I could have had a heart problem in that last hole.
We're chatting with Scott Neiser, who is the caddy for David Toms. Scott, when you looked around on television and you saw the players, they're all looking around at Pikes Peak. What were they looking for there?
There's it's not quite Pikes Peak. There's another mountain just to the left of that where Pikes Peak is, and everything goes like right from Pikes Peak down into this valley, or not Pikes Peak, but this one part of the hill down into the valley. So that's where the majority of the putts were kind of running to. So that was your fastest putt. And even though it looked like it was going to break towards the hill, it almost broke away from the hill every time. Even with it looked like there was a lot of slope. I think a lot of it's an illusion now because you're coming off the steep hill and the greens kind of got a little slope or it might be even flat, but it's actually still running away from the mountain. And they have to do that for a reason. I mean, for drainage and everything when it rains or when they're watering the golf course. But it's, I think it's mostly an illusion. Plus, everything's kind of just running down that hill.
And you talk about the key part of that round on Sunday, 16, 17, and 18. Kind of give us your thoughts of where he really performed well and what he did on those 3 holes.
Well, we got down to those last 3 holes, and the leaderboard all of a sudden got really bunched up. I think there was maybe 5, maybe 6 guys had all of a sudden were within 1 or 2 of the lead. And we're in the last group, so we're kind of peeking at the leaderboard, seeing what the guys in front of us are doing. You hear a couple roars in front of us, and Paul Goydo's made a couple birdies, but I think he bogeyed 1 or 2 coming in right at the end. So you kind of see that stuff happening, but 16 is a short par 3. There's only a wedge down the hill, but you couldn't go long. So you had to play to the right of the hole, a little bit short, which meant you were putting back up into the mountain. So you were able to be pretty aggressive on your putt. He buried about I think 16, 17 footer right in the gut, right after Jerry Kelly putted. And Jerry just missed it right off to the right. So we knew it was going to go a little right. He made it right in the middle. So that was to take a 1-shot lead going into 17. So 17, we get on the tee, and it's a 545-yard par 4. Goes downhill a little bit, at 545. It sounds like a long par 5, but you take the 10% off, and you're looking under 500 yards for the par 4, which is still long. And it's actually a par 5, and there's another tee in the back. And David hit a nice strong drive, but went down the left side. The wind took a little left and went right under the lip of the bunker. Now you're like, oh, great, with a 1-shot lead. Now we're going to have to lay up on the hole and rely on the wedge and putting, which he did so good all week. So he hit his third. We hit our second shot out of the bunker, and we had about 90 yards to the hole. And he kind of pulled it a little long and left, about 18 feet straight down the hill. So he had another quick one. And we actually, were thinking about making it, but also just trying to think about cozying it up there so you have an easy tap in and take your bogey and get out of there and hopefully go on and birdie the 18. But he buried that par putt, which is really key going to 18. Now you're 1 up, and 18's I wouldn't say one of the tougher holes in the course, but you got to get your drive in the fairway, which would leave you with an 8-9 or wedge into the green. So get a 3-wood off the tee on 18. It kind of got through the fairway just into the first cut of rough. We had a perfect yardage for a 9-iron, which he hit right at the pin. Went past the hole, up on the side of the hill, and it should have came rolling back, but the greens were a little marked up, a little chopped up, and it stayed. which was kind of like, oh my gosh, now we got 15 feet instead of 5 feet, which would probably would have ran back down to. And he ran that about 3 feet by after just barely tapping it going down the hill because we were going away from that mountain. And then he had that 3-footer and just happened to bury it for the win. So that was a relief right there.
Now it's when you and I talked earlier in the day, you said he celebrated a little bit into the night, which is totally understandable, I guess. What did that mean to him after going that period of time without winning? And part two of that, what kind of guy is David Toms?
Well, David's an easygoing guy. He's really laid back, Southern gentleman. I mean, but when you get on the golf course, things can get a little intense out there. He can get a little mad or a little fired up, and that's where my job comes in a lot to try to keep him calm and keep him even keel. Because once you start getting a little, amped up or something, things can start going a little haywire. But with David winning that for the first time in 7 years, the last 5 years before this, where we're on the regular tour and he's a mid-40s to almost 50, and we're playing against these young 20-year-old bucks out there that fly at 300 yards. David only flies about 255, 260. These guys all fly at 300 yards, so makes the competition a little bit tougher for us. We'd have to, we're hitting hybrids into these long par fours on a regular tour, and these guys are hitting, 8, 9 irons, 7 irons in the green. So it's a little different. So when we got to the Champions Tour, it kind of equals it out where everybody's, about the same distance. You still got a couple guys that can poke it out there, but you get out there and he's got a lot of pressure on him, I think, because what people expected him to win a lot. So last year was kind of a struggle. Couldn't putt too well. Hit it pretty good, but just the name of the game out there on the Champions Tour is putting, because most of the majority of the tournaments are only 3 rounds, so it's a sprint, not a marathon. You got to make a lot of birdies and no bogeys. So he's just gotta hang in there. And I think this Champions Tour has been great, and getting our first one in the Champions Tour, especially in a major, I think now he's got the monkey off his back. So I think he's ready to open it up and start winning. Look at Jerry Kelly from Madison. He got out there and he was like, "Holy cow, these guys can play." And he wasn't doing much. So I think he stayed patient, and then before you know it, I mean, he's killing it out there. I think David and him are 1 and 2 in the Schwab Cup on the Champions Tour right now. So it was all about patience and getting your feet on the ground with that Champions Tour and see what it's all about. And you got to adapt your game a little bit out there.
Yeah, David Toms is in the Schwab Cup, and Jerry Kelly's too at 1,364,000. One quick question.
Oh
wow! Pardon me?
He said, "Oh,
I
wow."
didn't know they're
But I have a
that
question.
close together.
Dennis has a question.
Well, you can. When I left today from up in Minocqua, and Nikki asked me about his lineage as it relates to hockey. Did you have a grandfather or somebody who played?
Yeah, I have my father-in-law. I played hockey myself growing up in Detroit, and I was a Red Wings fan, and met my wife in Chicago, and her father is Stan Mikita.
That's it. We couldn't get the name.
He's a Hall of Famer. Played with the Blackhawks for 20, 21, 22 years.
It's her father?
And the ironic thing is, Tony Granato, going back to Tony, is a good friend of the family. He's from Illinois originally, and Tony wore 21 all his career because of Stan. So it's been a great relationship between with Stan and Tony all those years. But Stan's a little under the weather right now. He's suffering with dementia. So it's been a tough couple of years with Stan.
That's your wife's
another great guy and golfer. He was a golf pro after his own hockey career.
All right. Relationship now? It's your wife's grandfather?
That Stan's my wife's father.
Okay. Because I get what the scoop was and what the name was, and I'm going to call Nikki tonight.
Well, Scott, we want to thank you for your time. You mentioned Tony Granado. I think you'll agree here. Number one, he's one of the nicest human beings you're ever going to meet in your life, right? You agree with that?
Oh, you got that right.
Number two, he's a good hockey coach. No doubt about that one. But number three is he's a lousy golfer.
Is he really?
Yeah, he said he doesn't play too much. I think he belongs to a club, and he got the Wisconsin-Madison course, the university course. But he's so busy and passionate about his job.
Yeah,
I mean,
he
I'm
just
staying at
doesn't
his
play
house,
much.
and we're sitting there watching a movie, and he's looking at films of the playoffs from the NHL and marking spots to show his team. So he's fantastic for the organization and for the kids there. It's a treat that now I'm going to be following even more, and hopefully my boy does get really good and he goes to Madison and play hockey.
Scott, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it. Good luck to you and David Toms on the Champions Tour.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And enjoy it anytime you need me.
Scott Neiser, the caddy for David Toms. We'll be back after this time out on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
What can you count on? There's that friend who always calls at the right time. A loyal companion, always ready to go. Here's something else you can count on: electricity. Just flip a switch and your life powers up. At American Transmission Company, we help make sure electricity is there when you need it. That's what we do. Deliver economical,
We're going to be coming back at
power
about
for your everyday
50,
life.
a little bit
American
after.
Transmission Company, helping to keep the
Yep.
lights on, businesses running, and communities strong.
At Oak Park Place,
Sounds
they
good.
understand there are some loves that last a lifetime, like the love of the game, and they celebrate those things that
barely. Yeah,
make
you guys still have another break.
uniquely you. Their community of friends, family,
Yep.
and caring staff provide support if you need it, while you enjoy your independence when you want it. Because they know that sharing memories of time well spent is just that, time well spent. Learn more about senior living at an Oak Park Place near you.
I mean, you guys
Visit
could maybe talk to him for
oakparkplace.com.
5 minutes.
The University of
And
Wisconsin
then have a
Golf
really
Course,
short last
University
segment.
Ridge, has been
Dave will
voted
do
Best
that.
of Madison and is the proud host site of the PGA Tour Champions American Family Championship. Our course, designed by the
sounds
world-renowned
good.
Robert Trent Jones Jr., is yours to play without a costly membership. The award-winning golf shop at University Ridge offers high-end Badger apparel you won't find anywhere else. And when you're off the course, enjoy excellent food and drink with friends at the W Grill. Play where the Badgers play, University Ridge.
He dreams of playing in the big leagues, which is taking a toll on your dreams. Most people don't think about their home insurance until something happens. But talking to an American Family Insurance agent today can mean your dreams have better protection tomorrow. Visit amfam.com/home for a quote and see if your insurance measures up. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly.
American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI.
Yeah, he said he'd be cool for next week.
American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin, 53783.
The mighty
correct.
Blue Marlin. You've battled for 2 solid hours. Jumps again. He's almost at the side
We're
of the
getting
boat.
back at
It's the
50-14.
moment of truth. Because there's never
Correct.
been a better time to test drive the 2018 Mercedes-Benz GLC. With a smooth 9-speed transmission, it loves to run. Set course for your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. Visit mbusa.com/GLC to learn more. Mercedes-Benz, the best or nothing.
Looking for future leaders we can believe in? Look no further than the high school student athletes right here in Wisconsin. High school sports teach young people how to be effective leaders. It includes learning to listen, accepting responsibility, being a good role model, and it's about respect. The result, it transcends sports. It gives us hope for the future. This message presented by the Wisconsin Interscholastic Athletic Association and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
It's the kid in grade school who paints her face blue and white before every home game.
It's the accountants and salesmen who give up their Friday evenings to referee.
It's the cashier at the corner convenience store who wears school colors on every game day.
What makes high school sports here in Wisconsin so special? They do. You do.
We all
All right, 10 seconds. Stand by.
This message presented by the Wisconsin Interscholastic Athletic Association and the Wisconsin Athletic Directors Association.
And we're back on Talking Golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network, along with Dennis Tiziati. I'm Paul Brown. We're going to save Pat Stein, who's the general manager for Wild Rock. until next week. We got a little windy here tonight with our guests, and took
They were good though. They were good.
So
Pat's good. Pat's good with it.
And by the way, speaking of Wild Rock, we have 50 passes to sell. You can play Wild Rock, 18 holes and a cart for $50. The good part of that is all $50 comes to the Golf Effect charity. So you're supporting the Golf Effect charity, and you get to go play Wild Rock. That's a great golf course. And all you got to do is go to the website, thegolfeffect.org, thegolfeffect.org. When the main page comes up, you'll see buy golf passes. And Wild Rock and UW Ridge, where they just had the AmFam tournament, are there. There also is 50 passes there. The only restriction is you can play Monday through Thursday. And $50 per pass, 50 per course. When they're gone, they're gone. And I suspect they're going to go very quickly. You go there, click on PayPal. You pay for 2 or 4 passes. You can order them that way. And then the passes will be sent to you from Cherokee. So 50 passes for Wild Rock. When they're gone, and 50 for UW Ridge. Also want to do one more reminder. We've had some people calling and asking about the Birdies to End Alzheimer's. You can still make a general contribution by going to that site. Say if you wanted to donate 10, 20, 50 bucks, whatever it is, you can do that. Go to birdies2endalz.com and it'll tell you how to do that. Some people also wondering about their pledge. And if you pledged online, you will get an email notice from the people at the foundation. And they will tell you in that email what your pledge was, reminding you, for example, there were 899 birdies. If you pledged a dime, you're going to get a bill for $89.90. So look for that in email. And one other reminder we got that we should pass along is First Tee has got golf outing is going to be here at Cherokee Country Club. They still have some availability for golfers at that event, and they have some sponsorship opportunities available. And I would suggest just go to the First Tee SCW.org. So that's our announcements. And Tiz, as far as the birdies is concerned, they will officially announce the total at the AmFam tournament, I believe, in December when they announced how the whole tournament.
Not the tournament. They're going to
announce what happened during the
event.
tournament.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So in the meantime, if people still want to give a general donation to Birdies to End ALZ, you can do that.
Well, it is now. You know the multiplier. At least it's $8.99. When we started out, we didn't have the multiplier. Now we do.
And we'll be back with some final thoughts after this time out on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
Hi, this is Dave Gary, and it's open house time at the Princeton
that should
Clubs.
leave you-
Come see what our clubs are all about. Try a class or just relax in our pools. Visit any of our clubs for free during our open house going on now. With more locations, more amenities, and more free classes, there's never been a better time to be a member of the Princeton Clubs. I think you'll be surprised how much better you'll feel just after a few visits. Plus, with our express locations all over the Madison area, you'll never be more than a few minutes away from your next workout. As a member, you'll also have access to Cherokee Club's outdoor pool to make the most out of your summer. So come try the Princeton Clubs today. Get inspired and start feeling great again. We keep our clubs spotlessly clean, open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and with free childcare and no joining fees. And if you're ready to step up to the Princeton Clubs, we'll even buy out your current membership somewhere else. The Princeton Clubs, voted Madison's best health club year after year. Visit PrincetonClub.net for more details.
In today's world, we're more plugged in than ever, and we don't think twice when we flip the switch to turn on the lights or boot up our computers. We count on the stable, reliable transmission of electricity, and that's what American Transmission Company is all about. We don't generate electricity, but our grid helps energize your everyday life. We're the vital link between power production and the people who count on it. American Transmission Company, helping to keep the lights on, businesses running, and communities strong.
He dreams of playing in the big leagues, which is taking a toll on your dreams. Most people don't think about their home insurance until something happens. But talking to an American Family Insurance agent today can mean your dreams have better protection tomorrow. Visit amfam.com/home for a quote and see if your insurance measures up. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly.
American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin 53783.
Right now, Cherokee Country Club is offering outstanding introductory golf membership.
Back in 90
You can
seconds,
join Cherokee as an individual
we'll begin
member
back
for
at
$2,400.
5714,
Depending on your age, you can get a
5714.
family membership that starts at only $2,900. Check it out for yourself. What you're going to find is the best deal in Madison when it comes to joining a golf club. And by the way, your membership also allows you to use all of the facilities at the Princeton Club and the Madison Club. If you're a business owner, Cherokee offers a voucher golf program that allows you to purchase 20 rounds of golf, good for 18 holes with a golf cart, for only $1,000. What a great way to entertain your clients, customers, or employees. Cherokee also offers memberships for swimming and indoor and outdoor tennis. And the public is welcome to use the driving range, restaurant, banquet facilities, or book a wedding there. For more information, call 249-1000 or visit the website at CherokeeCountryClub.net.
The American Family Championship features golf's living legends competing right here in Wisconsin. Take advantage of the Wild Rock American Family Championship package, which includes 18 holes with GPS cart at Wild Rock, with lunch and a Wild Rock hat, plus a ticket to the championship in Madison this June. Call or check out our website for availability, 608-253-4653,
All right, come
or
back, stand by.
wildrockgolf.com. That's wildrockgolf.com.
Back on Talking Golf, along with Dennis Tiziati, I'm Paul Brown. I got a quick one for you. Rocco Mediate is talking about Shinnecock and all the things that happened out there. Talking about the players complaining. He called it bulls and horses. Shut up and hit better shots.
Well, I don't know what he's talking about. You know, here's a guy who got beaten and opened by a guy with a broken leg. So, I'll take that back. But, when 5 of the top 10 players in the country couldn't make the cut there, I mean, really?
Yeah.
I think that they screwed up again a little bit by their own admission. And sometimes you can hit the best shots in the world, but when the reception into the green, that angle of inflection doesn't work, it runs into problems. And over time, i.e. Phil, it'll work on you. And Rocco, he's a good player. I think he's good and all that sort of stuff. But sometimes you're better off shutting up.
Not telling the players to shut up. Just keep quiet yourself.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And I was going to ask you about Tiger's tournament, but we got very little time left.
Quickens is,
it's over.
It's over.
Done.
Yeah. And,
surprise you?
Yeah, a little bit. But everybody's going to be surprised when this guy wins because he's going to win at least twice before the year's out. He's playing good.
Okay, and that's going to do it for another week here on Talking Golf. For Lexi Graytech, David McCann, Kevin Ryan, Dennis Tiziati, I'm Paul Brown, and we thank you very much for joining us. Tiz, nice to have you back for being up in the Northwoods. And
going back.
God willing, and the creek don't rise, as Van Stout used to say. We'll be back next week, same time. That's Talking Golf from the Golf Effect Radio Network.
Thank you for tuning in to Talking Golf on the Golf Effect Network.
Later.
Talking Golf has been brought to you by American Transmission Company, ATC,